Hello and welcome to the RG10 podcast. Now, there is something special about Hollywood's Oscar Awards ceremony buzz. The nervousness of the nominees, the boldness of some of the fashion choices, the risk of being slapped by Will Smith. But ultimately, these people are just actors being rewarded for pretending to be somebody else. Just 24 hours after this week's Oscars, another prize giving took place a lot closer to home that recognised people who made a real difference by being themselves. Today we're shining a spotlight on something truly special at the heart of our local community, the Twyford Together Community Awards. It's an event that's all about celebrating the incredible people, groups and quiet heroes who go above and beyond to make the village a better place to live. From volunteers and local champions to inspiring young people and dedicated organisations, these awards remind us just how powerful community spirit can be. I made it down there on Monday night and managed to catch a few words with some of the winners. First up, Vanessa Neal and Paul Smith, joint winners of the Teacher of the Year Award.
Okay, so my name is Vanessa Neal. I'm the Deputy Head and the Special Needs Coordinator at the Colleton Primary School, and I have just won the Teacher of the Year.
Well, first of all, congratulations, Vanessa. It's always the straightforward question you ask at these award ceremonies. How do you feel?
Well, surprised, I think. I mean, the whole nomination thing in the first place was a huge surprise, so yes, being here and winning is also a surprise.
And give me a bit more information about what you do at Colleton. You're Deputy Head, of course, but you're Senko as well.
So my role as the Special Needs Coordinator really is to support our families who've got children who might have additional needs or might be on the pathway to find out whether they have got additional learning needs of any sort. I guess I guide them through assessments and referrals and then make sure that any support their children need in school, that the children are getting it, and do my best to support the families as well, because it can be quite challenging at times for them with the, I suppose the processes and what have you in place for children with extra additional needs.
Yeah, it is an incredibly important role. You mentioned there the challenges. Can you give any more of an idea of what those challenges can be?
I think sometimes for families it's knowing where to go first, where to get the support that they might need. It might be, even prior to that possibly is just trying to sometimes think, what are the additional needs that their child might have. Sometimes it's quite obvious, sometimes it just isn't. It's like a process of trying to work out what the barriers to learning are. Once we've got to that bit, then it might be looking for additional support from outside agencies, which can be time consuming. Some of the waiting lists can be quite long, but the children still need supporting in the meanwhiles. It's that kind of thing, I guess, really.
I'd like to talk about Colleton School as well. Could you tell me what you think makes it such a special environment?
It's the team of people who work there. So without them, actually, again, this is very cliche kind of thing, but the only reason I've got this is because of the people who work with the children in school. I, as the coordinator, oversee things, but actually it's the teachers and the support staff, everybody within school who is helping our children to get what they need and make the progress and just feel happy and make progress.
Hello, my name's Paul Smith and I was very lucky to win Teacher of the Year at the Twyford Together Community Awards.
Congratulations. Now tell me, where do you teach? What do you teach?
I teach at the Pigott School and I'm an English and media teacher.
First of all then, tell me, when you found out you were nominated, how did you feel? What was your reaction?
I was surprised but really grateful. I could only assume that some parent in the community had been very kind and generous and put my name forward for it. So I was grateful more than anything.
How do you go about generating that kind of interest with children for subjects such as English? Everyone has to do it, of course. Not everyone necessarily enjoys doing it. How do you go about doing that?
I think what I try to do is to make students feel like they can do it. So I try to be supportive and I try to be as positive as I can possibly be about them as individuals and the work they're producing, so that they feel like they're winning in a way. And I feel that confidence then breeds a willingness to engage with the subject. So trying to build their confidence as much as I can.
Two sides to this question. First of all, what are the biggest challenges you face, but also, what are the biggest joys when it comes to teaching? What do you get out of it most?
The challenges first are with a subject like English and everyone having to do it is really trying to engage students for whom English doesn't really matter, and I completely get that. But it's one of those subjects that's compulsory, so trying to guide them through that can be one of the biggest challenges. But there are far, far more joys in teaching than there are challenges. And I'm lucky at the Pigget I get to teach some absolutely magnificent young people who give me hope for the future in a world that's often got a lot of despair in it. They really are superhuman beings, and if they can take their joy and positivity and commitment to community forward, then the world's going to be a better place, and that's what really inspires me in the job.
Hello, my name is Kerry Godley. I'm the Deputy General Manager at Standout Park, and we have just won the Food and Drink Award.
First of all, congratulations. Secondly, what was your reaction when you found out that you won the prize?
Completely surprised. We were up against some really great candidates. Lots of lovely local businesses, all doing a fantastic job. But it was really great to be recognised for the community that we support.
This is your chance to lose all inhibitions. You don't have to be modest at all in any way. Why do you think Stanlake won? No false modesty. You go for it.
I'm going to give a lot of credit to Natalia, the general manager, and to Nico, who is the fantastic winemaker at the Stanley Park. They've really built a great business over the last 7 or 8 years they've been there. We've got a great team that work with us, from wine bar staff to tour guides, everybody in the back office, the wedding events coordinators, the groundsmen. Such a great team, really working together, and I believe that's what's coming through and really pushing the business, to new heights.
What are the main challenges that face a place like Stanlake in that awful cliche, the current climate, if you like?
Well, there's lots of challenges as we have different aspects of the business, from the wine making, the challenges with climate change, weather, etc., to retail, to hospitality. There's always challenges with being very mindful of people coming to Stanlake, spending their hard-earned money and choosing us as their place for whether it's a leisure time, to do one of our many tours that we host, or just to enjoy the good wine or even a coffee.
Why do you enjoy working?
Because no 2 days are the same. Whether you're working again in the wine bar, different customers, different events going on. In the office, we're managing weddings, events, so many different lovely inquiries. But working on an estate, there's always challenges. There's building going on, there's grounds that need to be maintained, but nothing can happen without communication between each team member, so that nothing gets overlooked.
Hello, my name is David Ostrowski and I won Twyford Citizen of the Year for 2025.
David, congratulations. Now, for those people who don't know, you have recently retired from your role where?
So, community pharmacist at New Days Pharmacy here in the village, where I've worked. First started working there before it was New Days back in 1994 for the previous owners, the Phillips. And then for the past 18 years, I've worked for New Days Pharmacy under the ownership of Olivier Picard.
So that's over 30 years you have been there.
I actually had a break for about 7 years between the Phillips and New Days, where I worked away at the other side of Reading and then came back.
How much has life as a pharmacist changed?
It is completely different. Originally it was predominantly dispensing, and back in the day when I first qualified we were even doing compounding of ointments and mixtures and cough mixtures and God knows what else. Nothing like that now. Obviously, we still do the dispensing, but there is we do a huge amount now of professional services. So that either being NHS additional services or to make things pay private services as well.
You're kind of lapsing very much into the present tense there. As if you haven't quite got to grips with the fact you're not doing it anymore. How does it feel to retire?
It feels good to be retired. Yeah, I'm still a pharmacist. I'm still on the register, but I'm well and truly retired, and no plans at the moment to go back for any reason.
What was special about working as a pharmacist in Twyford?
The people. It may sound corny, but meeting the people and building that rapport, that's what I lived for. That's what kept me going. Not the mundane, not the dispensing, but actually helping people and the feedback that I used to get. The banter, it's what I really enjoyed, and I had a lot of banter, a lot of teasing and jokes when we had that moment in between all the busy times. Yeah, that's what kept me going.
You must have had people say things to you sometimes where they told you how much of a difference you made to their lives. Was that something that would happen? Could you think of anything?
It happened, particularly when I was leaving. The number of people that came up to me in the pharmacy to thank me, and the messages that were put into cards were humbling, is probably the word, because in many respects I was doing my job and doing the bit that I enjoyed, and I obviously made a difference to people. And yeah, I was flattered by the comments, and that's what I miss. That's what I miss, the rapport with the customers.
David, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Hello, it's Dean Cooper here from Twyford Comets Football Club.
And you are the club ambassador, Dean. What did you win today?
Funny enough, I won the Golden Story Award, which in my eyes is a very coveted award to win.
Now I'm going to put you on the spot here, Dean. Why do you think you won it?
Because of what I do with the Comets. You know, I've been on the Comets committee for probably over 30 years now, so it's probably something that is long overdue, but it's nice to be recognised by the committee of the community to give me the award.
If you've been, in a role at Twyford Comets for 30 years, there must be something special about it. What is that? What does it bring to your life? Why do you like doing it so much?
I just love getting involved with it. You know, I've been into football for 40 years, and when this opportunity come around, and then obviously the Dutch thing come around, and I'm involved with the French thing as well now.
You say the Dutch thing and the French thing. You better give me a bit of an explanation there. What do you mean?
The Dutch exchange we do with a team from Holland, which has been going on for over 43 years, I believe now. And then 4 years ago, we started an exchange because where the boys were missing out on going to Holland, so we started a French tour in a place called Quincy, and now the team that misses out on Holland, they go to Quincy.
Over those years, in those past 30 years, how much have things changed, would you say, at Twyford Comets?
Yes, a lot, yeah. I'm going back to the day when you didn't have any sponsors or nothing like that. And then obviously Gordon come along and said, I'll get you some sponsors. And now we've got like 45 sponsors, which is good.
I'd like to talk a bit about Twyford Comet girls, actually. Karen Leck won Sports Person of the Year this year. What has the rise been like in Twyford Comet girls over the past few years? It seems to have been stratospheric.
It's just grown and grown and grown. You know, we've got Karen who started the ladies team, and it's still going now. You know, we've probably gone from, 1 or 2, 8 years ago when Karen started, and then obviously we've got, 15 maybe now, between 13 and 15 teams. So, it is growing. It's a growing, the girls' football is really, really growing, and it's a good thing to see. It's part of what Karen has sort of achieved, and then obviously because of what she's won tonight, Sportsperson of the Year, you know, it's something she deserves, very much so.
You heard there from Vanessa Neal and Paul Smith, joint winners of the Teacher of the Year Awards, sponsored by Ideal Branding. Kerry Godley from Stanlake Park Wine Estate, winners of the Food and Drink Award, sponsored by the Wagon and Horses. David Ostrovsky, Citizen of the Year, awarded by Twyford Parish Council. And Dean Cooper, winner of a Gordon Story Award, which were sponsored by Paul Duffield of Vickers Young, Robin Yeadon of Benedict Charles and Twyford Together. Other winners on the night included Neve Musson, Young Achiever of the Year, sponsored by Benedict Charles Financial Planning. Happy Hours and Age Concern, joint winners of Charity of the Year, sponsored by Bluebird Care. Amy Goodall-Smith, Kevin Lancaster and Amar Sheikh, who alongside Dean Cooper also won Gordon Story Awards. Karen Leck from Twyford Comets, winner of Sportsperson of the Year, sponsored by PhysioCare. Adopt a Street, winner of Go Green Together Awards, sponsored by Ola Coffee. Twyford and District Roundtable, winner of Community Group of the Year, sponsored by the RG10 magazine. Tom Girdler, winner of Tradesperson of the Year, sponsored by Westgate Electrical Services. And PhysioCare, winner of Business of the Year, sponsored by the Shred Quarters. So congratulations to all of the winners. The Twyford Together Awards will, of course, be back in 2027, and the RG10 podcast will be there once more. Finally, before you go, why not subscribe to us so you get every single episode as soon as it drops? Goodbye.